Hey guys, Jay Hoyt here. Before this one gets started, I just gotta say, the amount of support that you guys have shown me recently, whether it's all the views on videos that are literally the day I posted them, is incredible. And the amount of subscribers recently has been great. So thank you guys so much for that. You know, I am enjoying making videos once again. Try to get into streaming, still doing that slowly but surely. But like I said, guys, thank you so much for all the views, the likes, the support, the comments, the subscribers, everything. I think we're like 10 away from 200 now. So if you haven't yet, or if you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button down below. But we got a good one. We got our second episode from the CDL of a roster preview. Let's get right into it and talk about the Seattle Surge. What's going on, guys? Jay Hoyt back with you today. Welcome back to some Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. We're playing, I don't even know what it is, but we have a pretty good game on our hands. I think it's 40-17, something like that. But we have our round 2 or our episode 2, part 2, whatever you want to call it, of our roster preview for the upcoming CDL season. First one, we did the Dallas Empire. You guys showed great support on that one. Here we are, part 2. We got the Seattle Surge. Now, last year, whoa, these guys were not good, right? The roster of Octane, Slacked, Apathy, Pander, Proto, and I'm even going to throw Enable and Karma into this. It was kind of a mix of those players all year long, so they just did not play well. They had 4 wins the entire year, 3 of them against the worst team in the league, the Los Angeles Guerrillas, and 1 versus the Minnesota Roker. That was later in the year, though, when Minnesota started to decline. But there was one key storyline throughout the entirety of the Seattle Surge season, and that was Octane, right? He's a superstar AR. The assault rifle player is Octane. He had no help around him, right? And I hate to say that because of the storied names that were on this team, but everyone just could not help him. No matter what the roster formation was, they just didn't look good all year long. So there was definitely a roster overhaul needed, and that's what they did. They kept their superstar in Octane, and they added some pretty interesting pieces to this team. So everyone but Octane and their coach, Joey Nubsy, stayed. These guys are going to build the next team. So they have Octane, right, returning from last year. The new roster, Octane. Now we have Gunless from the Chicago bench, or the Chicago Huntsman, now Optic Chicago. From their bench, right, he was benched like mid-season. They picked up Pristini. Or I guess they had General in there for a short period of time, but didn't really play with him much other than scrims until the Pristini deal happened. But yeah, he was on the bench. Obviously, one of the best players in the game, especially with that flex role. He's now in this squad, so that instantly puts 2 superstars on your team. So you can't be getting anyone else, right? Nope. They went to Toronto and picked up Looney, which was from their bench as well. Kind of an interesting pickup, knowing some of the teams or some of the players that are still out there, with like Temp and John. I know is still a big question mark, but Temp is definitely a big name that's still not signed to a team, and along with a lot of young players that, you know, have shown promise, that definitely you have your 2 superstars that you could put in this role and have them succeed just as well as anybody. And then you have Pristini, right? He breaks, I shouldn't say breaks up with, but he separates from his brother once again, and he comes from Chicago, or Chicago Huntsman, Optic Chicago, whatever you want to call him, that team. He comes over from that squad, obviously dropping down from 5v5 to 4v4. They had to let some players go. They decided to keep their roster and add Dashy, but we'll talk about that in a different video. But so this squad now, Octane, Gunless, Looney, Pristini. I would assume the roles would kind of go like that as well. Octane main AR, Gunless would be the flex, Looney would play kind of that like support sub, and then Pristini would be that fast aggressive sub on that roster. So predictions for this year. Now, this team is really interesting, right? You have two superstars. Pristini played really well. That can also run a flex role that he did last year with that third AR in Chicago. Then you have Looney, who's, you know, on the older side, but still has that leadership and that smarts to his game, and that's why he's going to be running that kind of support sub role with this team. And then you have Joey Nubsy as a coach, which he wasn't really that good of a player, so I don't know how good he is as a coach. As far as these guys go, this could be a really good dark horse team, right? Outside of the top three being Dallas, Optic, and FaZe, this could get interesting, right? With this roster, it definitely could be that underdog team where these guys could push for that top four, right? In my preseason rankings now, obviously there's some teams that haven't announced their full roster or have just 3 players announced, so they're kind of way down on my list. But depending on who they pick up, they might jump right back up to that, you know, 4th, 5th, maybe even 6th spot on that leaderboard. So right now I think I have these guys in 4th as my completed teams. And I think it's obviously definitely an upgrade from last year, right? You have another superstar on the team in Gunless. Pristini put up numbers when he was with Chicago. Looney's got that. I mean, they got a really good balanced team. You know, obviously, if it's like a 2-sub, 2 AR meta, or depending on the map, it's 3 subs and 1 AR, or if it's 3 ARs and 1. I think no matter what the meta is, this team will be good, right? Gunless has run the flex. Looney, I think, has run a flex. Maybe he's just been a sub, but then Pristini's run a flex. This could be a good team, and it would definitely be one of those teams you wouldn't really expect to be good, but I'd have these guys listed in 4th. My prediction's probably like mid-table, like, because there's, 12 teams. Probably like 4 to 6 range, depending on how well these guys mesh together. And, yeah, I think probably 4 to 6 is my prediction for this team right now. You know, obviously, there is previous chemistry on this team. I don't think I mentioned that before. Octane has teamed with, I think, all of these guys at one point in time, except for Pristini, I believe. And then, you know, Looney, Gunless, and Octane. I don't think all on the same team, but they definitely have previous chemistry there. This team is just so interesting because you have Octane, who's pretty outspoken. You have Gunless, who's definitely not afraid to you know, make his mind or make his thoughts known, and that's his biggest downfall, is his communication and his attitude towards the game. He's a very good player, but sometimes his I guess the pros like to use vibes come in the way of that. And then you have Looney, who's that leadership mentality player that will be there, and like all these guys aren't really afraid to put in their input. So as long as they can keep a level ahead all year, and these guys just don't suck and just go to the bottom of the table right away, then I think this team definitely has a good opportunity to potentially win maybe some championships, win some tournaments, and overall be a good team for the year. But like I said, there's still some teams that are not finished that would probably be in this range. So I would say around 4 to 6, just given some of the players on this squad. Obviously nothing official. It's still way early to tell. You know, we're still in the early days of scrims as it is, so we're still learning about the game, still learning about these players, and overall, we're still learning a lot about the CDL. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for today's video. Like I said in the intro, thank you guys so much for all the support you've been showing recently. I think we're like 10 away subscribers-wise from that 200 goal mark. So like I said, if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you did enjoy. With all that being said, guys, we'll see you next time.